Sometimes we look at our friends and assume they have our best interests at heart. We want to believe that our closest companions will protect us and stand by us through every trouble. It feels comforting to rely on them, yet Robert Greene cautions against putting too much faith in those we call friends. He suggests that friendship can be tricky because when friends are too close, they might develop hidden feelings such as jealousy, boredom, or doubt. These feelings can weaken the bond we trust so deeply. The lesson is not to distrust every kind word, but to be aware that a friend's warmth can mask complicated motives and unpredictable reactions. It can be better to keep a slight distance and observe instead of handing out blind trust. Trust is a powerful force that can drive people to act in surprising ways. It is both a gift and a responsibility. When someone trusts you, it can make you feel strong and valued, but when you trust someone else deeply, you expose your weaknesses. Many times, friends assume they know all about you, including your fears and your secrets. In that safe circle of friendship, these hidden details can sometimes be used against you if the relationship changes. A friend who feels overlooked, unappreciated, or threatened might take advantage of your trust to gain some advantage of their own. This is not to say every friend becomes an enemy. It only means that absolute certainty in others can be risky. Sometimes the greatest harm does not come from the people we see as rivals, but from those who are closest to us. In moments of disagreement or stress, friends can turn. This can feel more painful than anything an obvious foe might do. A friend knows the right words to hurt you because they understand your weaknesses, even if you do not realize it. This possibility is why Robert Greene emphasizes the need for a bit of caution in friendships. Staying aware that those who appear to be on your side could suddenly shift their loyalty or reveal something that harms you can keep you prepared. On the other side of this advice is the notion that enemies can be surprisingly useful. This might sound strange at first because we often see enemies as individuals who only wish us harm. But by facing an opponent, we can sharpen our skills, clarify our thoughts, and stay motivated to protect what we care about. When we know someone opposes us, we become more focused, more careful, and more driven to succeed. In many ways, enemies can push us to stay vigilant and to improve. By openly defining who is not on our side, we reduce the chance of unexpected betrayal. Enemies can also offer a form of honesty that friends often avoid. A friend might not tell you the brutal truth about your flaws or your mistakes because they fear hurting your feelings or risking the friendship. An enemy, however, does not hold back. They show you where you are weak or unprepared. While this can be unpleasant to hear, it can also push you to become stronger. If you know an enemy is watching, you might study harder, work better, or train more intensely. Their very presence can lift your ambition and drive you to try new approaches. Robert Greene also suggests that making peace with a former enemy can be more valuable than building a new friendship with someone who has always liked you. An enemy turned ally often has stronger reasons to stay loyal. They remember the effort it took for you both to overcome the bad blood of the past. There's a unique respect that forms when two sides set aside their differences for a shared purpose. By contrast, a friend from the start might not value the bond as much because it was easy to form. The real lesson here is to see that alliances built on respect, hard work, and a common goal can be more enduring than those formed only on comfort and familiarity. Another reason Greene warns about too much trust in friends is the danger of becoming too comfortable. Friends often let us relax, which feels good, but comfort can lead us to drop our guard. We share secrets, reveal our vulnerabilities, and make assumptions that our friends will never change. In life, people do change. Their desires, frustrations, and ambitions evolve. What was once a solid friendship can slowly shift if someone's needs are not met. A friend who feels overlooked or underestimated may act against you in subtle ways, often starting with small lies or half-truths. By paying attention and not assuming total safety, we keep ourselves from being taken by surprise. It is not about living in constant suspicion. Distrust can make a person lonely and anxious. However, Greene's advice is more about watching the fine lines between love and envy, support and resentment. We can remain close to our friends while reserving a small measure of caution, ensuring we do not reveal every piece of ourselves too soon or place every hope in the hands of another person. It is a balance between believing in people's good qualities and admitting that everyone has complex emotions that can surface under stress or opportunity. The benefit of using enemies is not to stir up chaos or cause harm. Instead, it is a practical approach to human relationships. By understanding who your rivals are, you can gain insights into your own weaknesses and strengths. An enemy will quickly show you where you stand and will challenge you in ways a friend might avoid. In responding to that challenge, you might learn how to be more persuasive, strategic, or steadfast. This growth would be less likely if you were only surrounded by friends who agree with everything you say and do. We learn through tension and even conflict. If you can remain calm and controlled, dealing with an enemy can become a sharp way to improve your skills and your mindset. You also learn how to negotiate power more effectively. Power in this sense is not about dominating or hurting others. It is about understanding influence, focus, and persuasion. An enemy forces you to consider how you present yourself. You become more careful with your words, your decisions, and your actions. This heightened awareness makes you stronger in every part of your life, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. When we look at historical figures, many of them rose to fame or power by mastering this law. They did not rely too much on friends to keep them secure. They often turned rivals into collaborators when it suited them. This strategy might have seemed cold, but it was effective. It forced them to stay sharp because they were always aware of shifting alliances. In some cases, they maintained just enough friendship with people around them to appear approachable, yet not so much that they exposed their entire plan. It is a delicate dance that many leaders, strategists, and influential people have used over the centuries. In everyday life, we can apply these ideas on a smaller scale. Suppose you are working on a project with a group of coworkers. Your friends in the group might expect you to share all your thoughts openly. They might even assume you will cover up for them if they make mistakes. An enemy or rival at work, on the other hand, might keep you on your toes. You become more thorough, more precise, and more thoughtful about how you handle your part of the project. Instead of seeing your rival as a threat, you can treat it as motivation. This does not mean you become deceitful. It means you are fully aware that human behavior is complex. You protect your plans and your reputation by not assuming perfect trust from anyone. The main idea is to appreciate what tension and disagreement can teach you. Friends are wonderful for many reasons, but it is wise to remain grounded in reality about their potential flaws. People can shift their loyalty, especially when something big is at stake. By taking this law to heart, you are not pushing away friends or clinging to enemies for the sake of drama. You are simply using natural human dynamics in your favor. You learn when to be open, when to be guarded, and how to spot where someone else's true feelings might guide their behavior. This understanding leads to a stronger position in life. You do not blindly trust, nor do you live in fear of betrayal. You keep your senses sharp and your mind calm. You see the value of friction and the hidden lessons it can bring. A friend who becomes a problem might hurt you once, but if you are prepared, it will not destroy you. An enemy who tests you may cause stress, but if you handle it well, you can emerge more skillful and more aware. By following the spirit of this law, you are acting with care and strategy, which can give you an edge in a world where loyalties and motives are always shifting. In the end, Robert Greene's second law reminds us that human connections are not black and white. We often prefer to label people as friends or enemies as if they can only be one or the other forever. The truth is more fluid. People's roles can change based on circumstance or opportunity. By understanding this, you keep yourself steady, you remain open to what an enemy might teach you, and you remain wisely cautious about the trust you place in friends. If you can master this insight, you can build relationships that serve you well while protecting yourself from the surprise of sudden betrayals. That is the heart of fully understanding Greene's Law 2.